All right.
Like I said, man, I'm gonna keep everything real. I'm gonna keep everything real. Gotta let people know.
So this is real.
Huh?
We're live right now.
Oh, okay.
So
okay, I just want to be able to tell these people.
No problem. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go on the For Fantastic page. I'm not going to interview yet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Front Door Show. But Tony D is on right now. But I'm going to go on the web page for Fantastic, or the business page.
Web page. Wow, that was DJ. What's the name of it? DJ Prieto?
No, it was For Fantastic Events. The number 4. I sent you that link.
Okay.
Going to see the live video.
Yeah, that I don't see. What up?
So when you hit share, it's going to say create watch party, and you're going to create a watch party.
Let me go back to the link that you sent me. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem. We're all here. We ain't going anywhere. I'll send it to you again if that's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, I know, because it's there you go. There you go. Go to the live and then click share, and it'll say share, create watch party.
I thought you said videos or the live.
Go to live. Sorry.
Go to live.
And
hit share.
It's gonna say create watch party. Do you see it?
It doesn't say that.
When you
it just say share. Share
okay,
now.
When you hit share, it's gonna scroll down. Share in a group, share in a page, start a watch party. All right, how's this? Do this. Here we go. Go to that.
Okay. Open it.
Open it. Or you can also share that one.
Like I said, man, I'm gonna keep everything real.
Start a watch party. How's this?
Okay, start. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So you ready?
Let's go.
All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Front Door Show, brought to you by For Fantastic Events. I'm your host, DJ Prieto, and today I have an old school DJ from back in the days, one of the guys I haven't seen in a while, and you'll hear all the stories of why he hasn't been around, but he goes back. And yesterday, Monday, I interviewed DJ Skip. Yesterday, Steve Silk-Hurley, and today I have DJ Tony T. So how you doing, Tony?
I'm just chilling here in Florida, relaxing. Staying out of trouble.
That's good. So Tony, so just in case, because what I tell all my audience members, because we get people that log on, they have no clue who you are, or so, just do yourself a favor and do us a favor, introduce them who you are, and just if you have any websites or anything like that.
Yeah, well, I started in Chicago in Humboldt Park area, 1979. So like I tell everybody, everything started like in the basements, We used to do a lot of basement parties. It was weird because the basement parties back then, they were like the clubs later, it was, everybody used to go to the basement parties all dressed up like they were going to the clubs. Yeah. And we used to have a basement over there by Division called the Cave. I remember DJing there. They used to get packed. Remember meeting Sly. I remember one time this guy named Russell tells me, "Hey man, I got this badass DJ." Next thing you know, this is 1980. He walks in with Sly. That was the store between me and Sly. That's when I first met Sly. But and then I was the first DJ for Llama Motorcycle Club
Okay.
back when they were on Division in California.
And now break it down. What exactly is Llama Motorcycle for some
The
people?
Latin American Motorcycle Association.
Okay.
And their place used to bump to. Then
What year was this that you were
the Llama was maybe like 81.
okay?
1981, 82.
And how old were you at that time?
Oh wow. I was like 16, 17 years old.
So let's back up. When did you start DJing then?
I started spinning when I was 14.
Okay.
14 years old.
And what was that inspiration? Why did you decide at 14 to DJ? Pick up a turntable or a vinyl?
Well, I got some cousins called their Trio Traveling Disco. I'm pretty sure you know who they are. And I used to dance back in the days doing the hustle and stuff like that.
Okay.
I used to go to their parties, and one day they just decided on selling their turntables, and they sold me some Pioneers with no pitch. Can you imagine that?
Nice cousins.
Well, they had graduated to pitch turntables. They started with them.
Right.
And I can't believe I used to actually mix with those turntables, you know? And but that's how I started. And little by little we started throwing basement parties, like I said. But then I got my first break at Centuries. I don't know if you remember Centuries.
That was with Jeff Davis then, right?
Jeff Davis.
That was. So how old are you when you DJ'd with Jeff?
Well, it was like 82, right after the motorcycle club.
Okay.
The bouncer there decided to take a Thursday night at Centuries. And I was already making noise, but I was mainly underground. Tony T, he was a good DJ, very, top DJ in Humboldt Park. But I'm in the neighborhood, stuck in Humboldt Park,
Right.
And I went to Centuries, and they gave me a Thursday night. And we got it going on a Thursday night. One day, Jeff Davis went there, and he's like, "Oh my God!" At that time, Jeff was kind of hot. He was doing a lot of appearances everywhere else.
Right. Jeff was like, wow. I don't know.
Jeff was the man. Jeff was bad.
People though he was the undiscovered Hot Mix 5. I mean, honestly, because I think.
Well, it's sad to say that he lost his chance because he didn't go to a meeting.
Right.
So they picked somebody else besides him. But he was one of the hottest at the time.
Oh, dude, he was. I mean, personal friend of mine as well. So trust me, I made him.
But then the thing is that he heard me on a Thursday. He was like, "Oh man, you're good." So he brings me as his alternate DJ on Fridays and Saturdays.
Nice.
And then we started spinning there, and then I get a job at Rappers. I don't know if you ever heard of Rappers.
Oh, I remember that place. It was old school.
Yeah, but it was a nice place. And I'm over here rocking Rappers for a while, and I remember one time Rocky. I know Rocky Jones.
Yeah, absolutely.
He comes up to me, and he was running Audio Talent at the time.
Right.
And he tells me, "Hey man, Rappers was the hottest club at the time." And he goes, "Hey man, I got this young kid that he wants to do a guest spot." I'm not a hater. I said, "That's fine." It was Ralphie Rosario. And they bring him through. He was hot in BMX at the time. And I remember when he first met me, he goes, "Oh my God, bro, where you been at? You're bad." And this guy, he used to record me he was going to Schurz at the time, just to play my music in his car in Schurz to his friends, I was good. Back then, I was up and coming. I won the Battle of the DJ. I entered the Battle of the DJs in '87 with the Disco All Stars with Pinky and Julio and them.
Right, right.
And 87, I lost to, I forgot who. I think could have been Jeff. I'm not sure. But in 88, I won the battle of the DJs.
So just to clarify for those people again, Pan American Fest. What exactly was that? What was that for all aspects? Because anybody knows it, but anybody that's younger that's listening, they probably don't know it. So that's why.
Well, the Disco All Stars, they used to throw they started with the main battle of the DJs back in Aragon.
Right.
There was a time where they graduated from the Aragon to the Pan American Fest.
And Pan American Fest was a festival, right? It was an outdoor festival.
In Navy Pier.
Okay.
Big, huge festival. They used to. I remember I shared the stage with Menudo that day. In the battle of the DJs, we shared the stage with Menudo. And what they used to do is they used to throw the battle. It was the mobile battle Friday, the club battle Saturday, and Sunday was the spin-off with the winner from Friday, and the winner from Saturday will spin off.
Pablo broke it down to us. Pablo Puncal Gonzalez broke it down to us.
Yeah. And the winner from Friday was Rich Martinez. I won the club battle. And then Sunday, I won the overall battle in a spinoff between me and him.
Right.
And but that opened doors for me,
I'm sure.
Yeah, it did. People heard of me. They a guy from Mexico, a big promoter from Mexico, came by. He came to the Purple Palace. I also was a DJ from the Purple Palace.
Okay, for those people, again, you're talking old school, so I just want to make sure that people understand. Where was Purple Palace?
Purple Palace, okay, this is what happens. From Centuries, they closed Centuries. They opened Century West on Augusta and Western. Jeff Davis was there too. Jeff leaves, I stay in Century West. Something happened where the owner takes off and a friend of mine buys Century West and he opens the Purple Palace.
So Century West was originally, Purple Palace was originally
Century West, yeah.
Okay, got it.
So they opened the Purple Palace, another hot club. It was, that place was humping.
I used to go there too.
Yeah, I used to have that place humping. So, but I won the battle of the DJs there. And this guy comes in, Mexican, beard, cowboy boots. He had a rusty real voice. He goes, "Hey, I got a big club in Mexico." We stereotype, we're thinking, I'm thinking Mexico, I'm from Chicago, I'm thinking Mexico, he got a rancho or something over there, Seriously, I can believe, stereotyping like, And I was with Mini Mixing Mexico. Remember Mini Mixing Mexico?
No, I don't remember that.
He was a DJ for Janelle's for a while.
Okay, all right.
He was from Humboldt Park, so he was working the lights that day. And I looked at the guy, I said, "Nah, man, who's trying to set me up? I don't know who you are." And I told him, as long as you take my boy Mexico, we'll go. He says, "All right." This guy, I'm thinking he's bluffing. The next day, he shows up with the plane tickets.
Wow.
And I'm looking at Mexico, and I'm like, this guy's serious. Well, we don't come back from Mexico, we don't come back. Okay, let's take a chance. Hey, listen. I went over there. I ended up going to Houston first. We flew to Houston.
Right.
When we flew to Houston, I see this beautiful girl. I said, "Wow, she's gorgeous, blonde." This guy comes out the airplane and kisses the girl. I'm like, who this guy's, what are you doing kissing that girl? And she was a cheerleader for the Houston Oilers. Okay. Anyway, that day we ended up that night we drove to Mexico. And when I walked into this club, I'm a disc jockey. I've been a disc jockey for years. I've been to Palladium. I've been to the Garage. I've been to 10-8. I've been to all them big time clubs. And I can believe the club I walked into. Seriously. This club had over 1 million in lighting. It had 750,000 in sound, and
And this is back at, what year was this at the?
this is 88.
Okay, okay.
And this is, I'm telling you, they had the monitors like Palladium. We used to pack 3,000, 3,500 people in that club. And I stood there for 3 years. I introduced house music to the country. I used to go, I went to Cancun, Puerto Vallarta. I traveled for 3 years over there, Best clubs in the world. But, I ran into the wrong people at the wrong time, and, greed takes over, and Tony T gets caught up the first time.
So you went to the dark side, huh?
Yeah. And they the first time they took 11 years from me. An unwanted 11-year vacation. I get out in 2001. Technology is different. Everything's totally different.
So do you come back to Chicago right after?
I come back to Chicago.
Okay.
But like I said, I was away for a long time, Tony T was at his peak. Everybody knew Tony T. Everybody loved Tony T,
Slice says hello.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy Sly. Mello Carmelo. That's my other guy. Me and Mello, I used to throw a lot of parties with Mello Carmelo.
Nice.
That's my boy Juicy there too, Angel Morales. Those are all guys that started with me,
Nice. You come back. So you come back in 2001. You're back, and technology's changed. What happens with you?
Well, I get back into the same case from the first time carried over to the second time, because it was an international case and the federal government was watching me. At the end, I knew something was wrong, so I opened a shop. As a matter of fact, like I said, I had Sly. Sly was my business partner. I was going to bring in Martino to do the graphic arts. I don't know if you know Johnny Velez, Jesse Velez's brother.
Yes.
Jesse Velez. He was going to do the printing for me. 2
weeks. So you were going to do a
shop, basically. A DJ shop.
Okay.
I had the sounds already. I had the speakers. I was going to rent DJs, lighting. I was going to do the whole shebang. Flyers, everything. And it looked like the federal government said, nah, this guy's going legit. Let's pick him up. They already had a case on me. They picked me up again. That time I took a 15-year vacation federally. I've been out since September 2018. And as you can see, I'm hitting it strong. I'm in Florida now. Oh.
So why Florida though? I mean,
because my kids that I got married in 2003.
Okay.
And my wife deceased while I was in jail. And
okay.
They came over here with my mother-in-law. So I'm gonna follow my kids,
Good for you.
I think that's the best thing I do, because Florida right now, I'm in Orlando. In Orlando right now, it's
oh, you picked a great spot.
Yeah, it's everybody, when they hear me DJing, they're like, holy damn, who's this guy? Because I grabbed it quick. I didn't play no games,
Well, I know Rudy from the Chicago Bachata Congress. They up in Orlando. They started with all the touch events. I don't know if you follow that, the whole Latin aspect of it. So they do a lot of stuff out there, and I know there's a lot of clubs out there. They actually.
There is, and there it's that my style is different, and I'm bringing like I said, I belong to a group called. As soon as I got out, people seen I was serious about the music, and they hooked me up quick. I hooked up with my boy Lugo Rosado.
Nice.
Me and Lugo, we go from way back too, you know. Back from when he was in the Mirador, I used to, you know, he was in the Mirador, he was in Sax. While he was in Sax, I was at Rappers and at Purple Palace, and me and him were real close, Lugo Rosado, and you know, him and Jesse Jones. Oh, Jesse Jones is my guy too, you know.
Right.
That's another thing that when I was in Mexico, I made house so big down there that I used to bring Jesse down there, Liz Torres,
Nice.
Lugo. I brought Lugo down there sometimes, and there's a record that is the national anthem of house in Mexico, and people be like, "How is that record the national anthem?" And believe it or not, it's the Edward Crosby. The Hey You Guys.
Right. Hey, you guys.
Until this day, I got DJs that contact me from Mexico, and they still playing that record. I brought Edward down there one time, and he was like the god down there. You know? He had a good time, you know. But you know, I'm back, and I'm more serious than ever now. I'm away from all the garbage, all the, you know, all the BS. And but there's, you know, I got a lot of history. You know, I might be bouncing back and forth too much, but you know, a lot of guys. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh no, that we were from Humboldt Park," and you know, no. The original. I'm one of the originals from Humboldt Park. You know, Mexico, Juicy, which he's on right now, Melo Carmelo. On the other side, which was Logan Square, you had Sly. Sly used to be back and forth. Martino, back and forth. And those are guys that, you know, they deserved. You know, they're part of the history. You know, they
Right.
are part of it.
Absolutely. That, well, like I said, I had interviewed Lugo, and he basically told me about the whole thing about with him and Jesse Jones and doing the studio stuff. He was doing a lot of stuff as well. One of the things that I know that happened, I mean, that I seen was back in the I want to say 82, because I don't know if I was breakdancing at the time. They was very big in the breakdancing, created by the Floor Masters, and
I remember them. I remember them.
we were always at Janelle's. You know, we were at Mirador as well. Pre-Mirador, I would say that Mirador kind of gave us that. I created the group like right at the end of Mirador, and then I remember Al not give a shot, but we already had created what we had created, and he kind of did the whole thing like, hey, this is a new thing happening with breakdancing, and he did we decided to do something with Troy. Troy, and I had the lockers from the South Side, which I was talking to Steve Silk Hurley about, that we had the lockers. So I kind of collaborated with other dance groups that weren't just break dancers. What I wanted to show is there was the freestyle dancers, there were the break dancers, and there were people who just danced all together. Kind of the beat it kind of themes. So, you know, it was like a battle between this group and that, and Troy was like on the other side, and Troy was dancing against our girls who were dancing, and then the lockers came and they battled against our lockers, and then our break dancers battled against their break dancers. So it kind of went like that, and it broke open that scene, because at the time, Colitos and Porter Tays, Baja Panties, you know, All Stars, all these dance groups were big, and you know they were there at the Century, and I remember at the Century, Baja Panties were always there. they were there all the time. Flipper, you know, all these guys that we all knew from back in the days, and and run into all the DJs from, like I said, from Janelle's. And I know that they were at the Centrum, they were there as well. Tony Batoy had his thing that he would do, and then we would go over there as well at the Apollo. And it created the format of the dancers. And for me, I said, and I was DJing as well. I was a DJ as well, but I said, you know what? I'm going to give other guys, because this is the truth. I would watch guys like me. Listen, I can dance. I can dance, and I choreographed. But we were kind of left out of it because the dancers in that freestyle scene, let's say Culitos and Porter Taste, they had their clique. So us regular guys, and I said guys because it was I gave a purpose for other people to shine, because it wasn't just because these guys were shining in a different way. They were doing the group dancing. Well, I created this breakdancing because I said, man, let's do something where we can shine individually, and that was hence the breakdancing. And that's and I think when I got to the Purple Palace, or walking into the Purple Palace, guy I used to hang out with RoboCop. Do you remember RoboCop? He was a police officer.
Oh yeah.
Bob. We used to call him Bob, but RoboCop. It was there, and he would take me there. He would take me to all the places because he was he loved the both Latin as well as the house music. He liked both. So we would go to Purple Palace, or we would go on Wednesdays over at what was Red Baron, or Milwaukee and Sacramento. I forgot what it was called.
Land of Oz.
Land of Oz. There you go. The Land of Oz. Right.
Land of Oz.
Yes. And we used to all hang out there. And I just remember that aspect of it going into like I said, the breakdancing. And I think at that point I had got out of the breakdancing and I just went completely DJing. And that's when I just was just doing DJing. And I think I settled down. I didn't want to do the rolling on the floor type of thing. I got a little older. And I just remember your name used to be all over the place. then it was gone. Then I remember.
Oh, well, imagine. It's that's why I want to let everybody know. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm not gonna hide nothing. I'm not
Right.
gonna hide nothing. And but you said the Mirador, and I used to go to the Mirador a lot. Lugo was a DJ for the Mirador with Kenny Jason and them. And I remember that Mario Reyes used to do an hour spot all the time. That's why I met Mario Reyes there too. But Lugo Rosado, he had that place rocking. The Mirador, everybody on that place was rocking the Mirador. And one day, I don't know if you ever heard of Erasmo Rivera?
Erasmo Vieira.
Erasmo Rivera, he's my cousin. He's the one that did all the edits for Frankie Knuckles. Let No Man Put Us Under, and a lot of people know him, like he was like Frankie Knuckles' like main editor at the time. And I took Lugo one time to my cousin's house, and he had like the same setup as Frankie Knuckles, and he's the one that took us to the warehouse and the power plant, and we used to hang out with Frankie Knuckles, and this is when we started getting into the house. Back in the days, it was Color My Love and all that other stuff.
That was Italian disco.
Italian disco, and Frankie
Right.
Knuckles was the only one playing all that deep stuff, and he had a sound system out of this world in his club.
Well, he had he played the soulful.
Yeah.
The soulful.
The Philadelphia sound, kind of like.
Right.
And that's when it was weird, because at that time that was considered, people put a different definition of house than when I was coming up. House music was like soulful stuff, But I'm not going to contradict what they say neither. I'm not going to hear go back and forth with anybody, you know, because everybody saying they created it, this created it. I remember something. I remember the first person that played track and stuff like that was Jamie Principle.
Right, right.
Jamie Principle. We used to be in. He used to be in a power plant with Frankie all the time. And so, like I was saying, Mirador played a big part. Lugo, Mario was hot at the time. And then remember you said Centrum. Well, before Centrum was Centrum, my boy Carmelo, he was the first person to rent that place out. He called it the Genesis Club because Carmelo had the Genesis dancers. I don't know if you remember.
Right. I do.
Right,
Wow,
Carmelo?
I'm glad you remind me of that. That's a name that I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, he's over here in Orlando too.
Okay.
And he was the first one that opened that place, and he called it the Genesis Center, and he was throwing parties every weekend. When he leaves, then they started calling it the Centrum, and it became.
I think that's where Pablo Punk Out Gonzalez took over. I think that was when.
Good dude too, Paulo, real good dude.
Right.
And you know, at one time, whoever knows me, they know, you know, I had, you know, a little respect when it came down to the DJ. Everybody's, you know, they say Tony T, he was decent. But and you know what made me a big DJ too? It was because everybody mixes. Everybody mixed. It wasn't really the mixing. It was mainly because Tony T always had the music before anybody. You know, that's what made Tony back in the days, that's how it was. Now it's different. And the one giving me all the music was Jesse Jones. Jesse Jones. Whenever he used to get a song, it was a copy for me and a copy for Lugo. And Larry Sherman from Trax Record, whenever he pressed something, a copy for Tony, always, you know?
Right.
Benji used to bring me every week stacks of test presses, you know? And them guys were the.
Well, Tony, I mean, you know, I honestly, I would have imagined how different your life would have been if you didn't go into the dark side because you were there from the very beginning. You were there from that you know, and I'm gonna say like from, you know, Mario Reyes, you know, Steve Silcurley, you know, all the guys from the, you know, from the Hot Mix 5 aspect of it. You were there from the beginning. You know, I can honestly say that I took a different turn for me because, you know, was doing house music, and then I discovered the Latin aspect of it. But I did what I did, and you know, and I think for me it was kind of hilarious because I remember all the house guys used to be going, "What? You're leaving us?" You know, because it was like you're leaving the team because I started doing the Latin music. And I was like, no, man, I still, you know, I still love house music. It's just because of, and honestly, it had a lot to do with the mixtapes. That's what changed me because, you know, for all aspects of it, there was money in the mixtapes. And I think that's where you missed out on. You missed out that opportunity because all of a sudden here come 88 to 91, that became like a staple for every DJ. Mixtapes, even like Pablo had said, the Hot Mix 5 all had mixtape. Bad Boy Bill, everybody had mixtapes. So it was like,
let me tell you something. And this is the first person before all them guys. The first person that started putting out mixtapes in volume was Melo Carmelo. Because Melo Carmelo, he was a business guy. You know, Melo, he was into business. And it was way before all these guys were doing it. And he used to put them in the disco cities with Felix Cardona.
Right. Well, see, and that being the first one is not always the best thing for.
Yeah, because he didn't benefit what these other guys benefit.
Right.
But the ones that used to do his tapes was me.
As far as recording.
Mello used to pay me a few dollars or whatever. I did all his mixtapes. And everybody really was buying what they were buying Tony T's mixes, but I wasn't, nobody knew it was Tony T's mixes,
Right.
It was just hot mix number, whatever, And yeah, but Mello was a money guy, Mello was very smart when it came down to generating money, But like I said, for that time, I remember all the mixtapes that coming, Bad Boy Bill and all this stuff, Bobby D and all this. I was gone for all that.
Yeah, that's what I just saying. I mean, it had its generations. Let's put it. The DJs had the generations, and that's why I was talking to Steve yesterday. We're talking about how 84 or 85 to like 87, there was an explosion when it came to house music. It was an explosion of, I mean, doing 40 record remixes a year for just that's just Steve, but everybody else was doing all these.
But check this out. At that era, I was working in Chicago's hottest clubs,
Right.
And I remember they gave me Friday nights in the Purple Palace, and I got with Mike Machiavello. And Mike Machiavello, he introduced me to one of his artists. I don't know if you remember when he had the Let's Dance record. He had the Let's Dance record pool, but he also had the label Let's Dance.
Right. That was his mom that was running it.
Yeah, with Jungle George. Yeah, with Jungle George.
I used to be in the record pool. Exactly.
Yeah. And he introduced me to this guy, and me and this guy decided on, you got Friday nights? Well, let's do house nights. And this is when all these artists were coming out. I remember Bang the Box, Matt Warren, White Knight. He was one of them. They used to get me into like, hey, Tony, let's do this track. Let's do this. I never listened. I should have listened to him. I was on some other, stuff. White Knight. I was the first person in Chicago to hire Liz Torres at the Purple Palace. Xavier Gold at the Purple Palace. Candy J. I don't remember Candy J.
Yes, I remember Candy.
It was jacking everybody, and nobody knew, what was behind. They found out later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so all these artists, I had one every Friday. I had a different artist, a house artist, Chicago house artist, and these guys, I get put away, and these guys become big. They get signed to Jive.
I'm surprised you weren't at 123s, because that was the other hot spot that was happening at that time.
Well, you see, that was over there by Lincoln Avenue.
No, that's the one.
Lincolnwood.
Diversity and Central.
No, that was on Diversity.
Yep.
On Diversity, yeah.
And the reason why is because I remember kind of a routine that we do Mondays at Neil's, Tuesdays at Cairo, Wednesday at the Land of Oz, Thursday at, we would do all, and Friday and Saturday was kind of like everywhere. It was hot. And Purple Palace was one of them. Obviously, 123s was another one. We used to go to Prime. There was another one. I mean, it was all we would buy. What was God? I can't think of. And then every so often, an Aragon event would happen.
Yeah, but you see, while those clubs were going on, I was DJing at the Purple Palace or somewhere else. So I was able to like sneak on Wednesdays to the Land of Oz with the Sayab brothers. There was 3 brothers that were DJs. Good guys too. They were good. One was in Pops In. I don't know if you remember Pops In.
Yep.
Louis Sayas. I forgot the other one's name. There were 3 brothers. They were all good DJs. They used to another guy that people don't mention too much is Chino Ramos. I don't know if you ever heard of Chino Ramos.
No, of course I know Chino Ramos. Chino was, and obviously I just ran into him like about, ran into him over at the Salsa Congress. So he was
Okay, well, he lives over here now.
okay.
He lives over here in Orlando.
Nice.
Was really Kissimmee, and he was with me for a while in the Purple Paddles. You know, Chino Ramos was a good MC, and you know he was also the DJ at the Concha nightclub.
So do you know
Back in
he
the
was
day.
the I guess the ref, I think, for our Tuesday night boxing when we used to have the boxing for a bit. He said- so
And
you missed that too, the Tuesday night
yes, I
boxing.
was. But you know, it's good to know. You know, I'm in contact with a guy named Johnny Cinco Ramos. You don't know who he is? Johnny Johnny
No,
Cinco.
Jenny.
His father is the owner of Northwest Hall.
Okay.
Uh, you know, Northwest Hall. It's part of history too. You know, that's where the Disco All Stars started. Disco, you know, they used to throw their big parties there in Northwest Hall back in the late '70s. And Johnny started hanging with me. He started DJing. Him and his brother-in-law is called Quick Vic. Those are my proteges. Those are guys that started, you know, DJing, you know, after you know, with me. And man, another thing. While all these tracks are going on, I did a few tracks back in the days. I used this guy named Edwin. If you were into the salsa, I used Edwin. He was the piano player for the Detinguida.
Edwin Sanchez.
Yeah, that was my piano player. I did
Edwin
a few
Sanchez
tracks with him.
is still involved with me. Dude, he's still he DJs with the Humboldt Park Orchestra here, and
Yeah.
it's like one
So
of the
when I was doing some
baddest piano.
I was doing like some Latin house, and I did a lot of tracks with him. Never put them out.
Nice.
Never put them out. But I believe that if I wouldn't have went to the dark side, I would have been somebody in the music scene because I'm a musician.
Right.
I'm a musician. So I recorded records in church when I was 12, 13 years old. So as far as me getting into producing, directing into music would have been easier for me because I was pretty good with the theory.
Right.
I'm real good with music theory, you know? And it would have been a lot easier for me than for a lot of these guys that never were musicians or nothing like that. And they're mega stars today, you know, Rafi and all these, you know. So I had like a little edge.
So when are we expecting a track coming out for you? Or
Well, it's coming. It's coming because you know, Lugo and them, they're pushing me. I want
because
to.
I see behind you, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, you know, I got all the programs already, and you know, I got my little guitar right there. I'm getting into the. I actually was doing music with some of the reggaeton guys,
Okay, cool.
like Almighty. I don't know if you heard of Almighty and all these guys. I did some music for them, and I don't know. They got confused. They went to church and got out of church, and very talented guys. As far as just doing music for them, I wasn't, you know, but I went and bought, you know, Lugo went and put the cables on me, and I went and bought Ableton, and pretty soon,
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
gonna do the first thing I want to start off with is a remix. I want to do a remix for Master C and J. One of the records. I don't want to say what the record is because this is a surprise. And after that, you know, it just looks better when they say DJ Tony T, producer, director. You know, this is, you know, it looks a lot better. You know.
Well, I mean, I know right now, especially with this COVID stuff. That's what Steve and I were talking about, and I think that's one of the things that's is going to help a lot of studio guys, producers, and just talking about people because you know I deal with a lot of the live band members here, and they are, you know, like, oh, we're not going to be able to perform, we're not going to perform. Performing is one aspect, but if you're a studio guy, there's a bit of an isolation because everything is done technological. You're doing it back and forth, and you're sending stuff back and forth, and you don't need a crowd of people to do studio work. And I think for like Steve and Shannon was telling me that it's forcing them to work even harder because you're kind of situation where you're stuck in the studio. But now you got no excuses. You don't have the outdoor because obviously, Florida is shut down and stuff, you can't do all the stuff that you normally would be doing, like going out, hanging out with your friends and stuff like that. And for you, keeping yourself out of trouble, so you don't have to you don't have to worry about that anymore. so
but yeah, you're right. Believe it or not, this isolation, because Florida's a hub for the pandemic right now. You got to watch it over here. This thing is spreading like crazy over here. But it is true. When I got out, I started getting into the technology, into the music, and now it's becoming easier for me. It's becoming easier for me because when this thing blows over, I hope I got permit soon. Tony T's ready.
Well, like I mentioned also DJ Ubonito, which is he has one of the largest record pools, or I know they have the record pool over there, but he has come up with remixes and stuff like that. Hook up with that guy because that's one of the guys you want to hook up with. He's also a remixer. He's got awards that he's done. He's got pretty big. I knew him from the Winter Music Conference, so that was one of the things that I knew him for always. I was there at the Winter Music Conference. Went there for 18 years, and then I went to the Billboard conferences. I think I did that for about and got into the Latin. But one thing that I always, if you watched any of my past interviews, that was my contact with Alex Caminatas. The guy's a good guy. And when it comes to both sides of the music, the Latin as well as the English, he has it all. I mean, seriously, he has great connections. And as he tells everybody in the interview, send me the because he started, he had the Latin record pool in the United States. Salsa Mania. That was his record pool. They was Salsa Mania. But he was working with the English record pool, but he created and Salsa Mania went all over the place. And it was and obviously having record pools isn't what it used to be today. Everything's more digital. You send everything out.
Yeah. Well, right now I belong to a group called Impact 50.
Okay.
And Pickney. It's like it's a pool, but we're considered reporters.
Right. Okay.
I represent the Florida part for house music. We get everything house, all the genres of house. But this pool, we got members all over the world.
Nice.
Very, very good director. He directs. I mean, he gets music for us. He's always in meetings every day. A lot of underground labels. We get a lot of underground labels that really never make it, but good music. So I got that. I get music from Jungle George. Sends me music. I don't know where he gets it from, but that guy sends me like 300-400 songs every month. Yeah, I didn't know he was a Billboard reporter. He used to be a Billboard reporter.
Yep. That's it. I was gonna say that was yeah. I mean him, Benji as well.
Georgie Porgy sends me a lot of music.
Yep.
Steve with SNS. Lenny Fontana from New York, good label. They're dumb people. They bumping in New York. So it's on the music side. And I mean, I could use other connects. So trust me, especially especially
trust me. When you with these interviews, you'll definitely get a lot of connections. Trust me. There's a lot that I guess a lot of people are part of this interview. Trust me. They'll connect with you.
Before I forget, because they're writing it all over the place. A lot of the comments. When I wanted to battle the DJs, I have formed a group, a DJ team. They just want me to mention it. We used to be called the Master Blaster DJ team, which consists of me, Sly, DJ Nonstop at the time, Lady Tricks, Juicy, Mini Mixi Mexico, Rafi Get Don Garcia. I just want to know I mentioned them. I didn't forget about them. Good DJs, very good DJs. But like I said, that was short lived. I left to Mexico and everything was down the drain. Next thing you know, I come back and DJ Nonstop. He's banging. He's DJing all over the place.
Right.
Good DJ.
So it's funny because I tried to get Jungle George, to do the interview, and he didn't want. He's all embarrassed about it. So some people get. And George has got he's got a great history. My God.
DJ from Coconuts.
Yep.
And the Riviera. He was DJing at the Riviera.
And and I don't know if when Mike Machiarello, because you mentioned his name, had opened up Circuit Nightclub. The big one of the biggest gay clubs in Chicago here on Halsted. And I started DJing for Mike. And the way I got into that was because of the fact that I was part of the record pool, and I had came up with my mixtape, and he was doing a Latin night on a Thursday there. And I remember Mike Machiarello. People don't realize that Mike is a phenomenal remixer, and he had music, and he's one of the original disco DJs from here in Chicago from 1976.
Right.
Another guy that we could talk about from back in the days before us, before us, is Freddie Fro or Freddie Lopez. One of the original guys that was DJing back in the days. As far as the disco days and stuff like that. So Freddie I'm still in contact, and we're always talking, and he was. And ironically, Freddie and Edwin still work together because of the engineering. Freddie does more engineering now, music engineering. And he's the one, I don't know if you know that, but Freddie, when I started working over at Alhambra Palace, which is the place I was doing now, Freddie was the one who the sound together and was getting all the music, the sound for the speakers, the amps, and all the wiring and stuff like that So Freddie still works with us,
Does he play bass and all that?
Yeah, he plays bass and everything.
Did he ever? You don't know if he ever played with Orquesta Yambo?
I believe so.
Because I know Freddie. I think
Freddie Lopez, but
he plays piano, plays trumpet, plays bass, plays everything. Good guy.
Right, Freddie, but he was by Freddie Fro. He was a DJ back in the days, and that was the time when Mike Machiarello, these guys, and that was ironically when you said Mike Machiarello, that was, I think what people don't realize that back in early 80s, you can count probably on two hands who were the main guys in the DJ business. As far as the guys, Kenny Jam and Jason,
Kenny was
Kenny Jam and Jason.
Kenny, Peter Lewinsky. I don't know if you remember Peter Lewinsky.
Yep.
The girl DJ Cinderella.
Yep.
That's back in the days. You're right. It's hard to name them because I can't remember them all, but there wasn't that many.
There was, like I said, there was probably about 10 of them in the whole city, and they were. I think it was Dogs of War record pool. That was the original record pool. I think that was the original, or BBC's. It was over on BBC's on right where I don't want to say Rush Street and Division. They used to have the record pool there. I think Audio Talent. That was the record pool. Part of Rocky Jones.
Yeah.
That was the Audio Talent. That was the what, and I remember that was where everybody that was a DJ, who was a DJ, that's where you went to there, and then you met all these guys. You met the guys that Peter Lewinsky, Mike Machiarello, and all these guys who started this industry. Kenny Jason, all these guys from audio talent, and that's I think that's how we kind of had our little groups, because it started off with record pools, and that's how you met, and you kind of exchange music and exchange
I
ideas.
couldn't get it. No, it was hard to get into record pool back then, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it was. I remember just import, etc. They had a record pool there. Jesus Christ, to get in there, it was. It had Frank. Lucky I knew Brad Wilcox. I don't know if you know Brad Wilcox.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used to work for Paul Weisberg. I worked there.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
So I was working there when Stacy was there, and what's his name?
Frank.
What's his name?
Chippy was there.
Chippy, yeah, Chippy. That's what I was thinking. Chippy was working there as well. I was working at Imports. I was working there as well.
That little was something else. Those are, Then Jesse Jones around the corner started giving them a run for their money.
Yep.
Wow. It's just, it's just good that, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was a little behind on, your little the interviews you be doing here. I did a little research, and it was weird. I was like, yeah, you went back to, wow, you interviewed a lot of people, bro.
Thank you.
Well, I was ignorant to this, Seriously.
I think ignorance isn't it. There's a lot of stuff that, like, I could tell you personally for me, I have about 5 different chapters in my life, and not everybody knows every 5 chapters, but I give little pieces here and there and there and there. Me being basketball, me being breakdancer, me being the DJ, me selling clothes, me and working in the service industry, all those little chapters is like, and I've always said, when I start talking, and I'm like, my God, it'll take 4 days to go over everything what happened to me, because I have a lot of history. But thank God I was able to really have friends in every aspect of this industry. Being it the Latin part of it, being the reggaeton part of it, being the house part of it, being the cumbias, norteños, the Mexican part of it, being the gay scene as well, being the dancers, being, just everything about it. And when this idea of the show came up, it was like, Chicago needs to know this history. I mean, that was the whole thing, because I don't think anybody touched on the history of Chicago, because there's a lot of history, and I say this all the time, that there's so much talent here. Talent, not just right now, but talent's been there since the early, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, and now. And because of this pandemic, we kind of locked in. So why not us talk about it and catch up? Because like you said, I'm sure you've seen some interviews and you were like, wow, just like everybody else is on these interviews. But I mean, trust me, I got Victor Salazar, Eddie Garcia, all these guys that they Sly, another guy that they're all like, my God, the information is just overwhelming, and I've been doing this since April 14, doing it almost every day. And, I don't know when it's going to stop because there's a lot of people that need to tell their story. And I think that's the best part about it.
It's kind of, I'm glad. Well, you're doing the right thing, man. Trust me, because there is a lot of history in Chicago,
Well, here, perfect example. We haven't heard from you in such a long time. Honestly, we haven't heard from you. Honestly, out of sight, out of mind, blah, blah, blah. I think the last time I told you, the last time that I ran into you, I think it was like 2000. When did you have that? When did you
I,
come back?
I had a little. I was in I was in the streets from like 2001 to 2004, 2003.
Okay, so I believe that we ran into you in 2002. I was doing Rancho Luna at the time.
I ran over there. I remember going over there. Yeah.
Right, and the story is that you walked in, and I think we're doing. I think it was our reggaeton night, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was our reggaeton night. We had a packed place of reggaeton night. I don't know if you remember that. And I remember Nick. His name Nick, the bouncer, would be very cautious about who he would let in because that in the neighborhood there was a lot of gangbangers in there.
Yeah.
And you walked, you had a t-shirt on and gym shoes. And Nick's like, no, we're not letting them in. And Luis Roland Rivera comes up to me and goes, hey man, Tony T's at the front door. And I did, who's Tony T? And Luis did the, yo, bro, you don't know who Tony T is? DJ Tony T? And I'm going, DJ Tony T? And then here comes the, like all back memory of like, well, I haven't heard that name in quite a long time. He goes, so of course I went up to Nick and I go, Nick, this is DJ Tony T. As soon as I say the word DJ Tony T, he's like, quiet, you know, and that was like that was the last time I seen you, and the last time that I heard about you, you know, just in the sense of what you call it. So I'm glad that whatever these interviews are doing are reaching people like you, because that means that there's other people coming out of the woodworks to say, hey, I got a story I want to tell. So that's good.
Have you ever contacted Julio Pink? I know you Pinky, that's Gringo's brother.
Right. You know what? I trust me, I contact everybody. You know, and all I can do is message them. There's quite a few guys that say, yes, I'll do it, but they never confirm on doing it. There's guys that say you know, and there's people like you reach out to me and says, hey man, I'll do it. Yeah, let's do it. You know, Sly, me and him already communicated. I'm hoping that he'll maybe Sly tomorrow. You want to do it tomorrow? Come on. Because I mean, it would be perfect timing because obviously, because we just talked to you, and then if Sly wants to do it tomorrow, that'll be cool. If you want to communicate with Sly directly, that you know, or Lewis, because Lewis contacted you and made sure that we're all good today. Right. But anybody that, as far as you know, I want to interview. I want to interview Tony Batoy. You know, but you know, all I can do is reach out to him and message. You know, all I can do is message people and say, hey, I would love for you to be on my show. I want people to tell a story. And just like I said to everybody, you know, they might have seen Tony T up at the Pan American Fest and see him win all the awards and stuff like that, but they know your history. But like today, you told them why you've been missing. So now we know. And we also going to know that you're going to come out with some new stuff, because we're going to hear that Tony T is back on you know, doing some stuff.
Right. Yeah, I am.
So
I'm serious. I'm serious about it. You know, I'm more determined than ever. You know, is that, you know, I'm at the age right now that I don't got time to lose. You know, it's not happening no more with me. I'm like this. I'm straight. You know, and like I said, man, you know, I got a little edge because I'm a musician, and I'm a hell of a musician. And when you're getting into tracks and stuff like that, that's going to help, you know, because of the theory, the music theory part of it. I'm pretty good at it. And well, I was in the Feds. I had the best bands in there. I had the best bands. I swear to God, the best bands in the whole Federal Bureau. I had them. It's salsa. I play salsa. I play everything.
Nice, you know? Nice. One of the guys from Chicago, I don't know if you remember, Mike Rivera is out there in Florida. So Mike is working with Sergio George, you know, doing all this, you know. So look him up.
You know what? Believe it or not, I'm in tune with music. Period. You know, like I said, I talk to a lot of DJs, and it's very important for a DJ to do their research and see what's going on and what's not going on. And believe it or not, Orlando on the salsa scene, I think in the whole United States, Orlando is the salsa capital. They got a lot of bands down here. The radio stations here are playing a lot of salsa.
Yeah, that's Tony. I'm going to tell you the truth. Why my success in here in Chicago is for the opposite reason, because there is no radio station for salsa here. And for me, doing 5 nights a week here in Chicago, I am the radio station technically for these people that want to hear salsa. So, going Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they come to my events. And that's why it works for me. When you have too many things going on, and it gets split all over the place. So that's why it works for me. And I believe you, Orlando, because the community that's out there is phenomenal. I know, trust me. When I used to we South Beach, and that radio and the music out there and the vibe and everything like that, you have, and I know that's even the bachata scene is huge out there.
Oh no, that's a different monster in itself. That's
right.
It's crazy the way how people reacting.
The Bachata Congress basically started there with Rudy Lopez. That's where it started with, because Rudy had all these nightclubs. And what did he do? He had all these followers, and what happened? And then he created a bachata scene. I already know the whole, that's one of the guys I want to interview as well. Rudy, if you're listening, I want to interview you as well. But it's ironically, because you're from Humboldt Park, it's ironic how house music and salsa kind of played hand in hand through the time of this history, because as I've said on, I don't know if you've seen the interview that I had where salsa, and I talked about with Steve so early about that, how the genre of house music, I should say the culture of house music, because you were there during the beginning of the culture of it, as opposed to the label genre house music. It took 4 years, 5 years before an actual house genre happened, but we were playing house music back in 1982 and 81 and stuff like that. We're Frankie Knuckles and all these guys playing house music. There were a lot of guys that were playing house music. And that was where, like, again, disco morphed into that, the dancing and stuff like that. And then, again, it goes back to the dancers. They played a big part of it. You say you dance hustle and stuff like that. That was a big part of it as well, and trust me, I listen very well.
Yeah.
So and Al Cisneros, that's how he started, as a hustler. I don't know if you know that as well. So he started, that's how Janelle's was created, because Jenny was his hustle partner, and Jenny and Al. So that was Janelle's.
I remember he got the name because of that, but I didn't know that he was a dancer at the time. Like back in I was a young little mocosito, seriously. But I used to get into Northwest Hall, the Aragon, when they used to throw the big dance contests. I used to dance with this girl named Tata. She was like the #1 dancer in Chicago. And then I went to Puerto Rico. Believe it or not, I started the music stuff, DJing stuff in Puerto Rico, in '78. I went to Puerto Rico. I was dancing over there. Then I seen people DJing, and I tried it. Then I came over here, and Trio gave me the turntables, and I took off after that.
Right. So it kind of it's funny, because I did the same. I was dancing, hence I did before the Floor Masters, we had a dance group. This girl named Zarina, this girl named Maria, this guy named Frank Lopez, and me. It was those 4 people. We created a freestyle dance. It wasn't any break dancing and stuff like that. And again, that's what I explained to you about the dancing part about it. And I was DJing. I was playing basketball as well. So all three things, did almost ran the city in basketball. And then created the breakdance group. And then I was still dancing, I was still dancing, but I was DJing mostly. And And then one of my very close friends, he's online right now, Mario Reyes. Mario I met him in high school. So I was in sophomore year of high school. And that's when he was going to teen discos. Tony Mandaka was his partner as well
I haven't heard that name in a long time, bro.
So Tony, and Tony's out there, I think, believe in Florida as well. So
Wow.
he's out there. I think Valderrama and him communicate still. So, and then I don't know if you know Mario and the Master Mix 6. That's all
Yeah,
part
I
of that.
Mario. I know Mario. Like I said, I met Mario at the Mirador.
Yes.
He used to go DJ with Lugo at the Mirador back in the day.
And I was always there. I was always with Mario because Mario was dating my sister at the time, Kimmy.
Oh,
So that's how we became friends, because Kimmy met actually Mario from me, and they started dating. And so anytime, my parents would always say, "Oh, go with Kimmy. Kimmy's going with Mario." Mario's like, "Yeah, we're coming." So I would be like the roadie with Mario, and then obviously then I was DJing as well, and then and I think I was 15 years old at the time. 15 years old. We're at the same time that I got the gig at Malos, the place at Malos on the south side, and that's those are the history, So I'm glad that that I'm here interviewing you, because people happen to you, Tony.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to even mention. We used to have a group called, when I was with Mike Machiarello and them and Let's Dance, we had a group called the Ultra Mixers. We didn't make it too big. I mean, we were DJing for NUR. Remember NUR,
Yes.
the radio station? It was like some college station that Jungle George and them used to. And it was me, Jungle George, Andy Moy. Remember Andy Moy?
Yes. Yep.
Larry Cooper. I think it was Fast Eddie too. There were 6 of us, the Ultimate 6. We only lasted for a few months and whoop, gone. I remember.
Well, we're 3 hours. So, is there any last words you want to say to the people that are?
I'm back. You're gonna be hearing from me. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna be doing some music pretty soon. I want to first of all, I want to give a shout out to all the guys to them. I'm like, they look up to me. They're like my underling. They're not my underlings. These guys are great DJs today. Johnny Cinco, Quick Vic, Rafi Getang, Garcia, Luis Rockin' Rivera. Luis Rockin' Rivera, there's about 3 of them.
Yeah, yes, I know.
Luis Rivera, Luis Rockin' Rivera, and this other Luis Rivera, Melo Carmelo, Lugo, that's my boy, Jesse Jones, Juicy, DJ Juice, Milo. I don't know if you heard of DJ Milo. And where I forgot, man, I'm sorry. I can't remember all. This is unscripted. We're just talking on the fly,
Right. And that's the best way I wanted it.
Pretty soon, you're gonna see. I'm gonna get into some, some production, some music, and I hope that my style and and my production, I move up in the world. I believe I could have been somebody, but it's never too late for me. It's never too late.
No, never too late, because now the good thing is, honestly, with this whole COVID thing, everybody's at zero right now. Everybody's in the same plane. So there's not going to be, everybody, we got history. So we have the edge. That's the best part about it. We have the edge because we have the background, but everybody's at zero. Are you doing any live streaming while I'm talking? Are you
Oh
doing?
yeah, yeah. I've been on it.
Okay.
They could go to my page and listen to what I'm playing, and a lot of people like it. Like I said, I'm a record breaker. Everything all my stuff is new.
Right.
I try to stay away from Facebook shutting me down all the time, but
Yes. We know we've had interviews about that too. So it's
I
frustrating.
want to give a shout out to Raymond Otero, Carmen, Adhesel, Mello, my boy. Like I said, Luis Rivera, all these guys. You'll be hearing from me, man. You're gonna be hearing from me, and I want to thank you for having me. And hey, when I become famous, I'll be back.
All right, Tony. Thank you very
All
much.
right, man. Love to everybody.